Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sunday Adelaja here, Kiev, Ukraine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for the lateness, as usual on Saturdays. I'm always late on Saturdays. Lola Shorunke, welcome. Baby on Rekoya. Rosi Ubakalu. Akbar Ali. Adeola Disu. Jide Craig. Ngoya Sharis. Esther Kuganja. Welcome, everyone. Olukayode Kundayo, Adeleke Adeniyi, Abimbola Olufemi, Segun Lawal, Ade Agbo Adeniyi, Ayomikun Oluwakunle, Michael Opoku, Julius Uje, Helen Wali, Daniel Asenga. Welcome, 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 everyone. Maria Isabel. Welcome, nice to see all of you. Rose Mason Sloth, Winifred Appan, and Marie. As you are coming in, will you please go and share the link? Go to your share button and share the link. Under this video, you'll be able to see the share button. Please go share the link. Comfy here, welcome. Rochelle White, Daniel Falusi, welcome. Go share the link, please, as you are coming in. Bola Gold, welcome. Okay, Babalola. Today we are having testimonies. Twice a week. Every Saturday and every Sunday we have testimonies. So today we are starting with such a testimony. We have a beautiful lady here that is going to tell us a story from going from sorrow into converting her sorrow into product. Converting her sorrow into product. So let's go and hear her story, how she was able to go in from pain into blessing. And I will introduce to you Galina is the name of the lady here today. Galina. Привет, Галина. Камера на тебе. Познакомимся.
Здравствуйте, дорогие зрители передачи пастора Сандея. Меня зовут Галина.
Hello, friends. My name is Galina.
Я рада быть сегодня в качестве героя передачи. Раньше я была только зрителями, писала комменты.
Okay. I used to be one of the viewers. And I used to comment, actually. My name is Galina, but now I'm coming as a hero.
У меня есть сегодня такая возможность поделиться с вами своей историей, своим свидетельством, что Бог делает в моей жизни благодаря служению пастору Сандею. Думаю, вам будет интересно.
I thank God that God has given me the opportunity to come and share my testimony, what God is doing in my life, thanks to the ministry of Pastor Sunday.
Я выросла в обычной неверующей семье.
I actually grew up in a normal, non-Christian family.
И Бог привел меня к себе интересным образом. Сколько я себя помню, обычная семья, только Библия у нас появилась, я уже ходила в школу, мама через какую-то благотворительную международную миссию заказала христианские книжки, но они были просто как разнообразие, что-то интересное из-за границ.
We're just normal family without faith in God. No, remember that we just had a Bible by miracle in the family and some Christian literatures. But like for children literature more.
Поэтому Бог для меня, я в него не верила, даже другим говорила, очень яростно, чтобы они в него не видели.
So what she's saying is that, in this former Soviet Union, there were even so most of them had never seen a Bible before, talk less of hearing about God. She was not a believer, and she said she was even convincing other people not to believe in God, that it was a waste of time to believe in God. So her family was an atheist family. They were not believing in God. Some of them have never seen the Bible before. They've never, they even think that believing in God is a mystery and it's a story. Like it's just like a storytelling. That's what most of them take the Bible to be. And she was one of those. And her family was like that. And she was actually one of those who was convincing other people not to believe in the Bible.
Да, и вот я росла, я закончила школу, поступила в Киев институт в 97 году. И я точно не помню, но, скорее всего, в этот год, когда я поступила в институт, мне захотелось пойти в церковь.
Then I came to Kiev from a small town. She came to Kiev, Ukraine, to the capital, to study in the institute.
И я рассказала своей маме, что мне почему-то вот захотелось пойти в церковь. И мы были в нашем городе, и мама повела меня в православную церковь.
So after she started studying in the university, she started having a strong impression to visit a church. She just felt like visiting a church. And this is the Orthodox Church. So she spoke to her mom about that. This is an unexplainable urge that I have in me to visit a church. And the mother took her to an Orthodox church.
Мы пришли с мамой в церковь, тогда была осень, холодно, и у меня не было перчаток, и поэтому руки я просто положила в карман, и мы рассматривали собор, смотрели, и тут к нам подходит священник, батюшка. И он подходит, посмотрел на меня внимательно и говорит: руки в карманах — это к смерти. После этого мне больше посещать церковь не захотелось.
Wow. She was telling a story of what happened to her in the Orthodox Church. Because this church is a traditional church, and Orthodox Church is very traditional. And, you have to stand in a certain way. You've got to behave yourself there. There are some things you cannot wear when you are going to the Orthodox Church. So she was in the Orthodox Church, and she was putting her hands in her pocket. And then while she was in the church with hands in pocket, one of the priests came to see her and told her that, who are you? Why are you putting your hands in your pocket? You don't put your hands in pocket in church. And that you could die as a result. God will punish you, and he will kill you just by putting your hands in the pocket. She said, wow, if God is such a wicked God, if God is so impatient with people, I don't need this kind of God. And she said she felt like she went out of that church and felt like never having anything to do with God anymore, or never going to church anymore.
Но Бог все-таки хотел меня привести в церковь, поэтому Он использовал другие методы. И Он все-таки компенсировал работу своего нерадивого служителя в православной церкви другим образом.
So, but God was interested in life, I guess, because God really wanted to draw me to Himself. Even though I got disgusted about church from that Orthodox church experience, but God still found a way to find me and draw me to Himself.
Когда я была на курсе института, также осенью, я заболела серьезно по-женски. Врачи установили мне серьезный диагноз. Поскольку у меня, кроме родственников моих в Киеве, никого не было, я сразу же обратилась за советом к своей тете, что мне делать. И она мне сказала: Галя, в церковь пойдешь? А мне куда-нибудь, только не в больницу. Поэтому я согласилась с ней пойти в церковь.
So while she was still in the university here in Kiev, she had a very serious health challenge, and she was having some problems with her health. But she didn't want to go to the hospital because she was afraid of operation, surgery, and things. So she went, but she didn't have any relative here in Kiev, so she went to her aunt, the only aunt that she had in Kiev. And that aunt happened to be a member of the church. She happened to be a believer. So that aunt told her that you either go to the hospital or you can go to church. You can come to church with me because in this church God does miracles and God could heal her. So she chose to come to church with her rather than going to the hospital.
Так я пошла с моей тетей в церковь. Это оказалась церковь посольства Божие. Я не знала, куда иду. Мне просто важно было получить свое исцеление.
Even though I didn't have an idea where I was going, I didn't know that this was what kind of church this was. This was the embassy of God, but I was more interested in getting healed. So I just wanted to get healed. So I followed her to the embassy of God. That was the first time I got to the embassy of God church.
То богослужение проводил пастор Сандей, и в тот день Бог сразу же на богослужении дал ему слово знания, что в зале есть девушка, у которой такая-то болезнь. И он даже объяснил эту болезнь теми словами, которые мне сказала лично в кабинете один на один врач. Поэтому я понимала, что это ко мне.
She said that when she was there, that was the first time she saw Pastor Sunday but she was in the hall, the big hall, and Pastor Sunday was on the stage and was giving a word of knowledge and mentioned my sickness. But it didn't just mention the sickness, it described it in a way and with the same words that the doctors used to describe it. But I was alone with the doctor in the hospital and in the office, so there was no other person who could have heard my diagnosis. Only the doctor knew and used those particular words that the doctor had used in the cabinet when they were giving me the prescription. And nobody else knew this prescription, and nobody else could have used the words of the doctor. And Pastor Sunday was using exactly those words that the doctor had used to prescribe my sickness. So I knew for sure that God was talking about me.
Я тогда еще не знала, что Бог уже в тот день меня исцелил. И я узнала через пару дней, когда я пришла к врачу опять на обследование. Они сказали, что у меня этой болезни больше нет.
Even though Pastor prayed, but I never knew that prayer could work so fast. The pastor prayed, and I knew something miraculous had happened, but I would not believe that the sickness had gone so fast. And that's what she did. And after a few days, I went to the doctor again for the cross-checking and double-checking of the diagnosis to check again. And then the doctor confirmed that I didn't have this disease anymore. And that was quite spectacular.
Я в тот день на богослужении, я ведь еще не знала, что Бог меня исцелил. И когда пастор призывал людей на покаяние, одна женщина рядом со мной сидела, и она очень настаивала, чтобы я вышла на покаяние. Мне не хотелось выходить, нужно было идти на сцену, я стеснялась. Но она настолько сильно меня настаивала, она так меня тормошила, что я согласилась, лишь бы она успокоилась. И я пошла на сцену, вышла на сцену покаяния, где было около 20 тогда человек.
But that day, because they didn't just pray for my sickness, but they were asking for people to give their lives who were there for the first time. So I gave my life that day to the Lord.
Помню, я тогда стояла на сцене, и пастор призвал к покаянию, просил людей покаяться в грехах перед Богом. Сейчас смешно вспоминать, но я не могла себе придумать грех, за что я могла просить прощения у Бога. Не пила, не курила, не гуляла, и пастор говорит: покайтесь, а я не знаю в чем. Стою на коленях на сцене, каяться не знаю в чем. И исцеление получать же надо. И потом пастор начинал перечислять, какие могут быть грехи, там ссоры, обманы и так дальше, плохие отношения с родителями. Я за что-то зацепилась, обрадовалась, что я хоть что-нибудь нашла, покаялась, успокоилась. И так произошло мое покаяние.
Yeah, she was saying it was a challenge for her to give her life because pastor was saying you have to repent of your sins. And she thought that she didn't have any sin because she was saying, I never smoked, I never drank, I never had adulterous or fornication with anybody. I never had, I didn't know I had any sin, but I wanted to be healed. So I couldn't even, I was thinking, why should I come up with some sins? then pastor was talking about if you have unforgiveness, or if you have ever been offended or angry at your parents. And so anyway, God saved me from that day.
С тех пор я начала посещать церковь, но не столь регулярно. Я прибегала в церковь, когда у меня что-то заболело. Когда у меня что-то болело, я прибегала в церковь, Бог меня исцелял. И так продолжалось, наверное, около года, пока до меня не дошло, что надо ходить регулярно, чтобы не болело, а не прибегать, когда болит. С тех пор я начала ходить постоянно в церковь.
And she said that, yeah, that was when she began to come to church. She was not regular at first. She would only come once in a while. But, because she was thinking, I'm okay now. God has healed me. So why do I need to go to church? And so she was only visiting once in a while. But later on, she discovered that, why should I only come when I'm feeling bad or when I have a problem? I better serve God so that I don't have problems. And that is how she became dedicated to the Lord.
Так я ходила в церковь на ночные молитвы. Бог менял мое мышление согласно тем учениям, которые пастор давал, согласно христианским принципам. Мое отношение к людям, ко многим темам менялось. И я закончила институт и устроилась на работу. И уже такие значительные события уже начались в 2010 году.
Когда что?
Когда я попала впервые на ретрит к пастору Сэнде.
Yeah, she was coming to church, and she finished her school, stayed back in the capital city of Kyiv, and became a member of Embassy of God Church, coming to church regularly. And then 2010, her life began to turn around when she joined the mentorship team of Pastor Sunday.
Я приехала на ретрит к пастору Сандею в октябре 2010 года, и на том ретрите Бог очень открыл мне важные вещи. Во-первых, это мое призвание миссионерское, я о своем призвании молилась до этого около 10 лет. И я узнала о нем на ретрите. Также Бог мне открыл, что придет время, я буду возле пастора Сандея. Для меня это было очень-очень странно, даже более странно, чем призвание, потому что я думала, может быть, как-то, возможно, это случится лет через 15-20, если я что-то сделаю. Да, это было самое, казалось мне, даже нереальное, поэтому я никому об этом и не рассказывала долгое время.
Yeah, so she was just working, being a regular church member until she attended a training with Pastor Sunday, and this is like HMT retreat. And in that HMT or retreat, she was able to discover her calling. And even though she had gone to church like maybe 10 years before then, and she was not able to discover what her calling was until she came to that training. Then she discovered what her calling was. But besides that, God told her something in that training, that God will open the door for her to work closely with Pastor Sunday. And she thought that was a fantasy. She thought that it would never happen, because she's even thought that is even more a fantasy, an impossibility, more difficult than getting to know her calling. She thought getting to know her calling was much more easier than to get to work closely with Pastor Sunday. She thought maybe sometime in future, maybe 10, 20 years time or 15 years, when she must have done something great for God and things like that before she could come closer to Pastor Sunday.
Но что самое интересное, это произошло, то, что Бог мне сказал о пасторе Сандее, это произошло не через 15 или через 20 лет, а ровно через год. Бог положил на сердце моему наставнику, что я должна встретиться или поговорить с пастором Сандеем. Я не знала, о чем мне говорить, и я решила написать письмо. Письмо благодарности за его вклад в мою жизнь. Сказать было, что... И я написала, и поскольку я уволилась уже на то время с работы, я работала в Министерстве труда, я была свободна от работы, я предложила пастору, что, возможно, если я могу чем-то помочь, то я буду рада помочь. И пастор сразу ответил, и так я через год после того, как Бог об этом мне сказал, я стала помощником в его офисе.
Yeah, she said God is so faithful, because she ended up working with me in the office, helping me as one of my personal assistants. because she had written a letter to just express her gratitude. And she happened to be free from wherever she was working before, and she offered to be a volunteer. And she was surprised that she could be taken, because in the church there were so many options and so many people in the church that were helping, that could help. So to her, that was a major miracle, that God will allow her to come close to Pastor Sunday and work with him. Because she's been coming to the church more than 10 years that time, and she never even knew that she could come closer to Pastor Sunday. You know, this is a problem of big churches, when some people have been in church for 10 years and they've never been able to get close to the pastor. But she didn't know that it could happen so easily. And I think that's a principle right there for every one of us, that, you know, if you are serving, if you are ready to give rather than to just receive, if you are going to be ready to give rather than to just accept, you know, because those 10 years when she was coming to receive for herself. But here, she was ready to give. And because she was ready to give to God, to the church, she was ready to serve with her giftings. And that opened the door for her. Okay.
Так, с 2011 года я стала служить возле пастора Сандея в его офисе, одним из его помощников, затем его секретарем. И, то есть получилось, это около 4 лет я служила возле пастора, работала. И это очень было благословенное, и есть благословенное время. И
Самое тяжелое, да?
это, нет, не самое тяжелое. Это было лучшее время. Многие люди меня спрашивают, а чему ты научилась, когда работала возле пастора Сандея? И чтобы на этот вопрос передачи не хватит, поэтому могу сказать то, что зрителям научилась то, что вы учитесь на протяжении всех этих передач, только намного больше, потому что дольше, и потому что в реальной жизни, и в различных ситуациях, в рабочих, повседневной жизни.
Yeah, she said she ended up working in close proximity with Pastor Sunday in my office as one of my PA, personal assistants. And she said a lot of people ask me, she worked there for 4 years, so in our team. And she said a lot of people ask her, what did you learn working with Pastor Sunday? So I was telling her, taunting her, that it was probably the worst years of your life. She said, no, the best years of her life. Because, you know, because when you are working with, when you know your pastor from the distance, it's one thing, because then you don't really know him. You are just putting him on a pedestal. But when you are working close, you're making mistakes, and this supposedly kind man is now correcting you, rebuking you, chastising you. That is not easy. But she said, no, it's, you know, that was the best time of her life. And that so many lessons she learned, that, you know, as many lessons as this whole platform, this whole 500 messages that we've preached all this time, only more, because she was learning every day, every time, and in different situations and different circumstances. Because sometimes, you know, I wrote a book that is called the Test or the Trial of Access. The test of access, that when you have access, it's a test for you. Either the access will bring you to elevation, or access will bring you to contempt. Familiarity brings contempt. So when you have access to great men, either it's going to break you or he's going to lift you. And she says it's a great blessing for her.
И, наверное, было предусмотрено все Богом, Он все видит наперед. Когда я попала к пастору Сандею, это также стало точкой поворотной в моей жизни, в моем служении. То есть поменялось кардинально все. И также это совпало с одним из самых трудных моментов в моей жизни. В 2012 году, в начале года, моей маме установили диагноз рак. И это было очень тяжело. И я благодарна и рада, что я в это время была возле пастора, и был человек, который мог меня поддержать, который мог меня наставить, как мне жить в это время, что мне делать в это время. Был кто-то поддерживает и по-человечески, и духовно. То есть, я благодарна Богу, что Он именно все стратегически ставит, все правильно, все продумано. Это кажется, будто как Бог, как шахматист, да, мы в Его руке, Он просто берет тебя с одного места, переставляет полностью в другое сам. И ты понимаешь, что это все Бог. Поэтому совпало мое служение с пастором с моим тяжелым периодом.
Но это закончилось смертью.
Да, и через год моя мама умерла.
She was telling us that one of the wisdom of God is probably the fact that she happened to be walking near Pastor Sunday in his team at a time when, it was 2 years she working after working 2 years with me, she discovered that her mom was having cancer. Had been diagnosed with cancer. And she said if she had not been working or been near Pastor Sunday that time, that she didn't know what would have happened to her, that things would have been much more difficult. Can you imagine that, your mother is diagnosed with cancer and she's dying, and, you need support. You need all the support you could get. And, the greatest support that God could give me, she said, is that I was near Pastor, because I could get all the moral support, all the human support, or just support like a pastor, like a leader, spiritual support that I could get. My mother eventually died, but I wouldn't have survived it if not for the support that I had and been working closely to Pastor at that time. So God knows how to direct our path. God knows how to direct our ways. God knows how to lead us. And He knows how to put us in the right place at the right time before anything happens. Something that we might not have thought about, something that we never even could have imagined. But God knows what will happen in our lives, and He knows where to put us at the right time just to be able to support us. So He's been there for us even before our situation and circumstances happen.
Да, как я говорила, через год, в 2013 году на Новый год моя мама умерла. И это стало еще одним поворотным моментом в моей жизни, потому что очень прошло мало времени, около недели, как я полностью переосмыслила свою жизнь. Как я жила, как я относилась к маме, как я относилась к близким людям, как я вообще относилась к людям, к жизни. И у меня сложились определенные жизненные уроки, и по которым они полностью как бы стали частью меня. Я стараюсь по ним жить. И также мне на сердце было даже непонятно для меня, но почему, но я решила, что мне нужно поделиться этими уроками с пастором Сандеем. И я отправила ему их на почту. С этого момента также начались следующие перемены в жизни.
She said as tragic as that story was, that her mother ended up dying. But sometimes God will teach us the greatest lessons of our lives through tragedy. So she's saying that that tragedy became the greatest, some of the greatest lessons in her life. And because after her mother died, a few days later, she started thinking about the life she had lived with her mother, how she had valued her, or where she had refused to value her, where she had demonstrated honor, and where she had refused to demonstrate honor. Her mother died rather young, and what are the consequences? What is God trying to teach her? And she said, she sat down and, had a personal time of solitude for herself to think about what God was trying to tell her. So as a result, she said she had a whole list of lessons about how we should value our loved ones while they are still here with us on the earth. And thanks to those lessons, her life was totally changed and transformed. So she decided to share those lessons with me, because I was trying to comfort her. She was at home, but she sent those lessons to me, to Pastor Sunday, by email. And that after Pastor Sunday saw those lessons that I wrote, the lessons that I took from the death of my mother, Pastor Sunday discovered that those lessons could be a blessing to the whole world and to much more people than me. And my life just took another turn from there.
Пастор, прочитав эти мои уроки, он решил, что церковь должна о них узнать, мир должен их узнать, поэтому он предложил сразу же поделиться ими с церковью и выделил мне время на в Центральной церкви на служении помазания. Это произошло через полгода после смерти моей мамы. Затем также пастор мне предложил, кроме этого, что нужно идти дальше и нужно свою боль превращать в что-то полезное для людей. Потому что пастор всегда учил, что все, что мы проходим, оно может послужить спасением для других людей. Кто-то где-то плачет и нуждается, что кто-то прошел в чем-то опыте.
Да.
И он сказал, что я должна написать книгу.
So when pastors read through my lessons, the lessons I got from the death of my mother, есть эта книга здесь, нет?
Да, здесь нет.
Ты найдешь?
Как избежать большого сожаления?
No. So when Pastor read through my lessons, the lessons I got from the death of my mother, Pastor was so touched that Pastor told me to come and preach with him in the Central Church. That was a revolutionary concept for me. How could I was just a secretary with Pastor. I was just a secretary in the church. I was just one of the pastor's office workers. And here he was putting me before the whole church to come and preach. And that was how I did my first preaching. And people were so blessed by my preaching that Pastor said, you know what, let's write this book together, because Pastor said he knows the pain that she was expressing there, because you know my story. Some of you know my story, that I lost my grandmother that brought me up when I was 15 as well. And so that we should co-author a book with her. So she was my secretary, my PR, my PA, sorry, one of my PAs. And now she was preaching with me on the stage in the church, and she's also co-authoring a book with me.
Вот эта книга, которая получилась, то, что пастор не просто он мне предложил написать, он настоятельно очень рекомендовал и даже настаивал, что я должна написать эту книгу.
I was not very sure. I was not very sure that I could write a book, and I didn't know how to write a book, and I was not confident enough that we could do this together. But Pastor supported me, and he, stood so strongly in favor that we should write this book together. And this is a book, and the book is called "How to Avoid the Greatest Sorrow, the Greatest Regret of Your Life." How to avoid the greatest regret of your life. How to avoid the greatest regret of your life, or why you must honor your father and mother while they are still alive. Why you must honor your father and mother while they are still alive.
Откройте для себя тайну долголетия и блага на земле.
And in the circle says, discover the secret of long life and prosperity on the earth through honoring of your father and mother. So,
На тот момент, когда пастор предлагал мне писать книгу, я уже была его редактором, потому что после смерти мамы пастор предложил стать его редактором. И я уже работала над книгами. И когда он предложил эту книгу, мне не было особо желания над ней работать. Это то же самое, что переживать еще раз свою боль, которая вроде бы уже немного прошла. Это снова слезы, это снова боль, это снова это переживание. И не хотелось. Но пастор видит дальше, он просто знал, что это нужно кому-то. И поэтому я все-таки написала, и эта книга вот в соавторстве с пастором есть.
And today, that is an example of how to convert our sorrow into a product. That is, don't just build a monument of tears, of pain, of regret. Don't just be crying about your pain. Don't just be, weeping and, shedding tears about your sorrow. We must always learn to convert our sorrow into a tangible blessing, a tangible product that will be a blessing to the world. So that's what, so I was not willing to work on this book, because one of the reasons I didn't want to work on the book was because, even though those were lessons I took from my mother's death, but to participate in writing those lessons and to write those, those lessons means to keep on going back to my experiences and my mistakes and my failures with my mother when she was alive. And to keep on going back to those memories meant to keep on experiencing those pain, to keep on experiencing the pain of loss, the pain of regret, the pains of things I was supposed to do for my mom or with my mom when she was alive that I never did. So I didn't want to work on this book. I was really very discouraged, and I was not willing to do it. But now I'm thanking God so much that Pastor made me do it, and he pushed me to do it, and he encouraged me to put down those lessons. Because now, even though I lost my mom, but now the loss of my mom is being converted into a product that is now bringing fruits of changed lives. The loss of my mom is now bringing forth fruits of other children relating better to their parents, valuing their parents, honoring their parents while they are still alive. So the mistakes that I made, right now, other people don't have to make the same mistakes. They have been prevented from making the same mistakes. So my sorrow and my pain have actually now been converted into my blessing. So apart from the fact that I am blessed by seeing the work of my hand, by seeing my lessons in a book form, and seeing my product, the product of my sorrow, my tragedy has become a blessing, a product, a physical, tangible product for me. And my blessing has become, my tragedy, my sorrow has become a blessing, in everyday blessing in the life of everybody. Because this book now, everybody could read it every day, and it's blessing somebody every day. So my mother has gone. My mother cannot be returned back to the earth anymore, but other mothers, thousands of other people and other children are avoiding the same sorrow that I went through. So my sorrow is being converted into a blessing, and this is one reason why I think I wanted to come to this program to share my testimony with you, so that on how to, no matter what has happened to you, you can get a hold of your sorrow, you can get a hold of your pain, you can get a hold of any tragedy that has happened in your life, and find ways and creative manner to turn it into positive energy, into positive blessing, into positive product, into a package. You can repackage your sorrow into something constructive. Instead of you to just, build a monument of sorrow, of regret, of pain, you can actually turn that around and repackage that sorrow, repackage that pain, repackage that tragedy into some form of blessing. You could, think of creative ways to turn around every evil thing, every bad thing that has ever happened to you, to turn into a bridge that is now taking people to their blessings, into an avenue, into a springboard that is now blessing and raising up and being a blessing to every other person around, so that no other person is going to go through that sorrow or that regret that you went through in the first place.
То есть после смерти моей мамы тема почтения к родителям, она стала моей темой. Не потому, что я ее выбирала, не потому, что я мечтала заниматься такой темой, а потому что это произошло в моей жизни. Потому что я пережила настолько сильное, такой огромной силы сожаления и боль. И, наверное, Бог просто усилил это, потому что не все так больно, я знаю, переживают. Но мне казалось, что Бог в несколько раз усилил мне это переживание, чтобы я просто не могла этим не заниматься. И поэтому я даже, когда вижу, кто-то грубо обращается с родителями, кто-то повышает голос, у меня внутри все болит. Поэтому я просто не могу не заниматься этой темой, и я стараюсь со своей стороны хоть что-то делать.
you know, the stronger your pain is, the stronger your sorrow is, the stronger the possibility for you to actually, is a sign for you that you must work on it to turn into something positive. In my own case, my pain, I know other people who have lost their parents, right? I know other people who have lost their loved ones and things like that, but who did not experience such a huge pain like in my case. In my case, I had such a huge pain. It was such a horrible pain, so much that if I see other people relating with their parents wrongly, or other people just talking with their parents, I was feeling so much pain and so much, I had so much regret. I mean, we are talking of real regret that my mom died so young and I did not get to, become the best daughter for her, and I did not get to, be a blessing to her the way I would have liked to. I had so much regret that, even if I see other people that I never knew before relating wrongly to their relatives and to their family members or to their parents, I was feeling the same tragedy and the same pain. Mine was so strong. And I think the reason is the stronger your pain and the stronger your tragedy, the stronger your sorrow, it's a way that God wants to use to communicate something to you. God is trying to communicate and talk to you that, look, the reason why you are feeling that pain, the deeper your pain, the deeper the need God is trying to get you to resolve. God is trying to get you to hear his voice. Through that pain, God wants to get your attention. So pain and sorrow and tragedy is a way that God uses to get our attention, to get your to get you to do something about it, to do something creative, to do something good, to do something positive about the situation that you have gone through. So that is the lesson that I brought from this, my tragedy. As a matter of fact, I have made it my life topic, my life subject. So for the rest of my life, I want to address the question of regret. And I think this is the greatest regret that is out there, that there is no greater regret than you, knowing that there are some things you could have done that you did not do. There is no greater regret than not honoring your parents. There is no greater regret than not doing what you were supposed to do for your parents while they were alive, and then they die all of a sudden and you lose that opportunity. So that has become my life message. It's a message now that I want to take to the rest of the world. It's a message that I want to speak to everybody in our world, for them to know and to avoid going through that greatest regret, as I say. So by the way, if any one of you wants to help to translate this book to English, and because it is in Russian right now, if you want to have you want to have it translated to English, or is it already in English? No. If anybody wants to help translate to English, we have it. We could translate it by Google to rough English, but if you want to help us correct it and put it in the correct English and proper English, write to me to pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. So we could translate it somehow, but we will still need people to help us to change it and put it in proper English, so that many people in all over the world will be able to read it in English and be able to avoid the greatest regret of life.
Вы знаете, распространять Царство Божье можно разными способами. Можно проповедовать с кафедры, но как много людей ходит в церковь. Та же самая тема обращения к родителям. Все ли люди могут услышать ее, и сколько раз она может проповедоваться за год в церкви? Не все люди придут в церковь. Поэтому, а что же делать с теми, которые за пределами церкви? Заповедь почтения к родителям, она тоже их касается. Бог тоже о них заботится. Он также видит их слезы. Он также видит их боль. И что же тогда делать? Одной проповеди мало. Поэтому Бог многообразный. Даже сам Иисус использовал очень много способов, как достигать людей. Поэтому следующий была через боль — это книга. Следующий вариант. Кто-то читает книги, это здорово. Не все читают книги. Но кто-то сидит в школах. Это ученики. Поэтому я состою в общественной организации, хожу в школы. И также говорю об этой теме со школьниками днем, а по вечерам приходят их родители. И также родители слышат эту тему. Поэтому распространять ценность, распространять христианские принципы, Божьи принципы можно различными способами, какими только возможно.
So since I took this as a challenge for myself, that I was going to pass this message across to my generation, that children don't have to go through the regrets, the greatest regrets of life, which is the loss of parents and the regrets of children when they did not treat their parents right. And so, like I said, pastor gave me the opportunity to speak in the church, but you see, using the pulpit to pass a message across is not enough. First of all, you will never get the whole world to come to the pulpit. Secondly, pulpit is just once a while, every Sunday, maybe once a week or something like that. Thirdly, not everybody comes to church at the same time. Somebody could miss the message. And so one way to preach and spread the word could be the church pulpit, but we should never limit ourselves to church pulpits. And so because of that, thank God for pastor who are able to write a book. So a book is another way to spread the message apart from pulpits. Now, the book will go faster and go further than a preaching in the church could do, because people can buy the book anytime, people can read it, but we should always be inventive, and pastor has taught us to be creative and find ways to distribute and get the word out and to be able to fulfill our ministry, build platforms. So the book is good to spread the word, but apart from the book, I came up with another idea because since I'm writing to children that they should not go through the regret of losing their parents while they're, I've tried to avoid that regret of losing their parents. I know that my message will appeal to young people. My message will appeal to pupils, students. My message will appeal to the youth, because most of them still have their parents alive. And while they still have their parents, while they are young, let them value their parents right now and honor their parents. And so I started with a team of people to adopt schools. So we started adopting schools, high schools, thereby I started going to these schools. We developed a teaching program, a curriculum around this subject of why students and pupils must honor their parents. So these are my lessons from the death of my mother, became a book, became a message in the church, but it also became classes in the schools. So my lessons from the death of my mother soon is now being preached and taught as subjects in the schools, as lessons in schools, in high schools. So we have thousands of pupils and students, taking this class on why they should honor their parents and their fathers and mothers in schools. That is another product that we started doing. But apart from taking these classes, taking these lessons to pupils and students in school, we also started taking the classes and the lessons to parents. So I have different classes that are for parents of school, like PTA, like Parents Teachers Association, where teachers and parents are also taught about these lessons. So these lessons, why we must honor our parents, is now being listened to by students in high schools, and also by teachers in high schools, and also by parents. So in the day, the students listen to the lectures, and then in the evening, when their parents come to school to get them, they get to sit down as well, especially on weekends. We have classes for the parents as well, whereby they are able to listen to these lessons and go through the same lessons of why they must honor their parents and why they must teach their children to honor parents. And so one tragedy has become three products. The tragedy of losing my mom has become the product of me ministry in the church, in the pulpit, open a door for me to minister in the church, and she ministers now apart from the one time, she ministers also in the other places. Now, it has opened the door for another lesson, for another product, which is the writing of books, and she has written this book that is now a blessing to many people in many countries. Number 3 product that has come out of the death of the mother is this school curricula. And the schools are now being, as students and pupils and parents and teachers are now being educated in the principles of honor and honoring mother and father. Just to the one tragedy that happened in her life, it has produced 3 products. But the most important product is our changed life and our changed attitude, and that is now bringing forth all these lessons.
Я благодарна пастору Сандею за его пример, как он показывает, как мы можем конвертировать свои опыты, как мы можем конвертировать свою боль в нечто полезное для Царства Божьего и для людей. И уже только
I learned a lot from Pastor Sunday in this regard. With all the challenges that Pastor Sunday has, he's never complaining about any problem or challenge that is confronts in the ministry in Ukraine, in this country. Pastor Sunday is always converting all his problems, all his sorrows, all his tragedies, all the scandals and rumors and all talk around him. He's always converting them to something constructive, something to be able to help other people and to be able to use to advance the kingdom of God. And we see that all the time, and I see that, and I learned that from him, that every evil thing that Satan tries to use against him, we could or against us, we could actually turn that upside down on Satan's head. So when Satan comes against us with anything, we could use that very same thing to turn it against Satan and on Satan's head, and turn it into a product and into a blessing for other people and into a tool to advance in the kingdom of God.
Вы знаете, раньше я вроде бы жила, ходила в церковь, была верующей, но особо пользы от моей жизни особо ее не было. Но после того, как я создала, с Божьей помощью, с помощью пастора этот какой-то уже продукт, хотя бы даже вот одну книгу, и только благодаря одной книге я уже знаю, что я прожила не зря.
She's saying that, can you imagine, before my tragedy, before losing my mom, I was going to church before. I was coming to church. I was a normal person. Like I said, I never smoked, I never drank, I never had illicit sex, I never was sleeping around with anybody. I'm still like that, so I never smoked, I never drank, I never had sex with anybody, but still I never sinned. But if, despite the fact that I never sinned and I never lived a loose life, yet my life is not benefiting anybody. All my goodness and my piousness and my righteousness is not benefiting anyone. It's not bringing there's no benefit from my life. There is no profit from my life. My life is not benefiting anyone. Just there and just going to church and coming back and going to work, and life for nothing, just for myself, just existing, just know that I'm here on the earth, existing, going to church and coming out. So can you imagine how many millions are going to church like that? Their lives, they are alive. They are just going to work or eating and thinking and bragging themselves that they are holy and they are pious and they are not smoking, they are not drinking, condemning other people, but really not bringing any profit out of their lives. And that is what my life was about. My life was not benefiting anybody apart from myself. So, so what is the good of my righteousness? What is the good of my not smoking, not drinking, not sleeping around? What is the good of my piousness when it's not benefiting anyone? Can you imagine what is the good of my church going when it's not benefiting anyone? What is the good of my, just going to, say I'm a Christian without it benefiting anyone? But look what happened. Thanks to a tragedy. Thanks to this tragedy, let's just take the book alone. Forget about the teachings and the preachings opportunity that I began to have, but let's just take the book alone. Can you imagine? That book will outlive me. So now I know every day while I'm sleeping, somebody is reading my book. And they are getting blessed from my life. My life is now bringing forth products. My life is now becoming a blessing even while I'm sleeping, even when I'm doing something else, even when I'm eating. My life is blessing someone else because I've written something. I've written a book. So my life now is a blessing, So if when I now go and take that book and distribute it, more people have been blessed. When I will not be here on the earth, that book will still keep on, blessing other people. So my book, the book alone my life is blessing people. And when I finish living, when I will not be here on the earth anymore, my life will still keep on being a blessing to other people. So that's just talking about the book. What about other products? What about other things that I started doing? So thanks to tragedy, my life now became constructive. I now know that I'm not alive for nothing. I'm not just here for nothing. I'm not just alive for living's sake. I'm no more living for emptiness anymore. I'm no more living for nonentity. I am now living for my life is worth it. My life is only worth it thanks to the fact that I woke up thanks to a tragedy.
Можете себе представить, какая польза уже есть, если только из-за того, что я рассказываю о теме важности почтения, из-за того, что написана книга. Были случаи, когда мне люди звонили, мои знакомые, это потому что они меня знали, через день или через 2 дня после смерти своих родителей, после того, как они их похоронили, они звонили мне и благодарили за то, что я им рассказывала о важности почтения, что у них нет сожаления. Есть чувство потери, но у них нет сожаления.
Let me just tell you, right now, I receive testimonies almost on daily basis from people from the church or people who know me or who have read my book, who have now escaped the greatest regret of life. So most of these people have read my book one way or the other, or they have listened to my messages or to my teachings. So now, because people die every day anyway, either we like it or not, somebody is going to die in our lives. We are going to keep on losing our loved ones. We'll keep on losing our parents or our loved ones. So many people are calling me on regular basis to let me know that thanks to my book and thanks to the fact that I wrote that book, thanks to the fact that I put those lessons down, thanks to the fact that I adopted that topic to honor your parents as my topic, thanks to the fact that I'm living for a purpose now. I'm living for the purpose that nobody should die regretting and nobody should lose their loved ones. On a daily basis, I'm receiving all. People are saying, thanks to my book, they now lost their parents, but even though there is a loss that they lost their parents or they lost their loved ones, but there are no more regrets. No, people are now losing their loved ones without regrets. Can you imagine? Just because I decided to convert my sorrow into a living product, just because I decided to convert my tragedy into something positive. So no matter what negative thing is happening to you, no matter how much pain you are going through right now, remember them and convert them into a product, convert them into something positive, convert them into a source of blessing to other people. Now my life is being a blessing to people on a daily basis, and many people are calling me on a daily basis just to thank me, just because I converted my sorrow, my pain, into a blessing to them. Now I'm receiving, the evidence of my life on a daily basis, the proof that my life is not empty, my life is not in vanity, in vain. I'm receiving the proof of that on a daily basis through all these calls and all these messages and all these grateful people who are calling me to express their gratitude because their lives are being changed. Now they are not living with regrets. Even though their loved ones are dying, they are no more regretting it because they have read my book. Can you imagine? Just converted my sorrow into a product. My life now has a meaning. Can you imagine how many of us are out there in churches, just going to sit down in the churches every Sunday, going in and out and just sitting down? We are not making our lives count. Now I've made my life count thanks to a wake-up call that I got through my trouble.
На этом продукты, конвертированные через боль, не закончились. Бог дал мне уникальную идею, я думаю, потому что через него пришло, идею распространять Царство Божье через настольные игры.
Okay. No, это так непонятно.
Я- а вы просто скажите, я думаю.
She's saying that apart from, okay, yeah. She's saying that apart from, like I've told you of some of the conversions that I did, how I converted my sorrow into an opportunity with pastor to preach in churches, now then to preach and to do curriculum for schools, for high schools, and to teach in high schools. Apart from those two products, the third product is a book that I just showed you. That is another one. But there are games also. Now I started developing games. I started developing games and using games to also teach the same lesson.
Эти настольные игры – это инструмент, с помощью которых мы...
Я не вижу их. Вот, еще есть какой-то? Okay.
Эти две игры. Эти игры – это инструмент, как можно обучать людей почтению к родителям, как можно детей обучить ценить родителей, почитать родителей, быть благодарными, быть послушными, не обижаться, просить прощения и прощать. Для родителей это инструмент, как воспитывать все эти ценности в детях.
So God gave me an idea to use games, to develop games. So the same book, the same lessons that are in my book, I've now developed them into table games. It's just like you have a game like Monopoly. In such a way, like you have the game of Monopoly that you could play, and people are playing game, but they are learning business principles. So the same way, I've come to discover that, hey, you could actually make people to be playing the same kind of game, like, you know, Monopoly or another game, instead of people just playing game and having fun and just laughing and just, you know, getting excited and getting pleasure. Why don't we just make them get pleasure, play, and at the same time as they are playing and they are getting pleasure, they are actually getting lessons, life lessons, and the very same lessons that are in the book. Lessons of how to avoid the greatest regret of your life. Lessons of how to honor your parents. Lessons of how to have, and parents could be playing this with their children as well. So parents are playing with their children these games, and that way they are teaching them, because a lot of parents don't know how to teach their children values. They don't know how to inculcate value system in their children, but by playing games with them, they think they are playing and they are laughing, but that way they are actually learning some values, some Christian values, values of honor, values of respect, values of submission, values of loving your parents and your children. So those values are the games that have been developed through the tragedy of me losing my mom.
Первая игра, которую Бог дал мне идею в прошлом году, называется Let's Live in Harmony.
So the first game is called Let's Live in Harmony. Family game for kids and parents.
Игра, которая улучшает отношения.
The game that improves relationships.
Достаточно много хороших отзывов.
This game really improves relationships in the families, because I have different positive testimonies already of how many families' relationships have been improved thanks to these games.
Эту игру используют детские служения, а в церквях эту игру используют в семьях люди верующие, неверующие, различные, потому что игра не религиозная. Эту игру используют в детских клубах, эту игру уже использовали в Болгарии. Используют в детских служениях.
These games are being played. They use them in Sunday schools right now. So these games are being played in Sunday schools to teach students or pupils in Sunday schools how to honor their parents and to have improved relationship between parents and children.
Люди просто в семьях играют в эту игру.
And families play this game to improve the relationship in the families.
Верующие и неверующие, потому что игра не религиозная.
These games are being played by believers and unbelievers. Because these games can be used by anybody, but just to improve relationship in the families.
В эту игру играют в детских клубах.
And these, there are youth clubs and children clubs where they have adopted these games to improve relationships and to teach children and pupils and teens in schools, in clubs.
И вот летом в эту игру играли уже в детском лагере в Болгарии, также с неверующими детьми.
Some clubs and some
Camp.
children clubs, camps in Bulgaria, another country from Ukraine. They have adopted these games to be using in their camps for children camps and clubs. And they are in English as well. So they are being used in those places to improve relationship between children and their parents, and the parents and children.
В чем особенность конструирования этой игры? Здесь в коробочке есть 25 деревянных кубиков. И
People are asking, how can we get the games here in the USA and England and other places? How can they get them?
очень просто, потому что эта игра уже есть в 13 странах.
These games are already in 13 countries, so it's possible for you to get those games wherever you are.
А на данный момент мы уже проходим процесс, чтобы разместить на Amazon. Может быть, сегодня или завтра будет.
This week, we are going to by the end of this weekend, we are going to have these games on Amazon.
И либо вы можете просто написать на личных сообщениях на Фейсбуке.
Yes, great.
А я оставлю в комментах. Я в комментах оставлю после передачи.
It's going to be on Amazon. I'm going to give you my name or my email. You could write me my email.
Под видео комментариев.
I'm going to write my email for you in the comment. Natalia Kalida может написать или кто-то может написать. Somebody could, someone is going to write an email right now for you, so that when it comes on Amazon, she is going to let you know the name on how to get it in English. Yes.
Да, особенность игры в том, она специально сконструирована. Здесь есть 6 тем, 6 уровней игры. Первый уровень — это обида.
So there are six topics in this construction. This game is like a cable. I mean, it's like a
wooden blocks.
Yeah, wooden blocks. So these blocks are having 6 classes, 6 lessons, 6 values.
And 6 levels.
And 6 levels.
Первый — это обида, offense.
6 topics and 6 levels. The first lesson and value that this game will teach your children is offense, how to fight offense.
Обида — это низший уровень отношений, поэтому всего лишь 5 баллов за
него. The
него.
danger of offense in relationship and in family. That offense is the lowest level of relationships. And so if you are playing, let's say you throw this and you got the front that says offense, you get only 5 marks. And that this 5 mark that you got is the lowest. Is the lowest of all the marks, of the 6 marks that are there, 6 categories, because it's the lowest quality, is the worst quality in a relationship.
Вы видите, здесь на кубике есть задание. Это текстовое задание, которое нужно выполнять.
So if you throw the cube, the block down, if you throw it down and you got on the offense, you see some things are written there. Those are lessons, things you must do if you get there. Those are the lessons you must do. No, how you must play the game. And when you play the game, those becomes the lessons on how to overcome offense in your life and in your relationship.
Следующий уровень — это прощение.
The second lesson and level is forgiveness.
Третье — это примирение.
So whenever you throw that down and you fall on the forgiveness, it gives you instruction of what to do. So you are actually changing and you are learning to forgive by playing this game. The third one is reconciliation. When you play the game and you fall on reconciliation, it tells you what to do in the playing of the game, the process on how to reconcile with people.
Следующий, 4-й уровень — это actions.
The fourth level of the fourth class lesson is actions, how to act.
То есть это нужно действия какие-то конкретные, практические.
So how to do something proactive. It means it's proaction. How to be proactive in building relationships.
5-й уровень это благодарность.
The 5th lesson is gratitude. When you are playing this and you fall on the page of gratitude, you are taught to express gratitude
И 6-й
while
высший
you are still
уровень,
playing the game.
6-й высший уровень отношений это почтение.
But and the highest level of this game is honor. So that is the highest level of relationship. You see, the lowest was 5 points. But if you get honor, you get 100 points. So you know this game teaches you on how to acquire all these value systems and all these values up to 100, the highest level, which is honor.
Таких заданий, которые текстовых, их специально разработаны 150 заданий для детей и взрослых. Они играют вместе, не отдельно.
So in all, there are 150 there are 150 lessons and 150 assignments and tasks to be carried out in this game by playing this game. 150 classes and lessons. So, but these lessons are both for parents and for children. Elizabeth Ali said, I've told my son that the Christmas gift is coming. I think it's not just supposed to be for Elizabeth's son. This is a Christmas gift, not just for the children, but for the parents also.
Таких, это первая игра,
So this is one product. I mean, this is another product. Just one game that comes out of the tragedy of losing my mother.
Я создала вместе с партнером эту игру.
Yes, this is one game I created with one of my partners.
И вот неделю назад появилась новая игра, называется Link Up.
Link Up is a second game. This is another game altogether that we just came up with last week. It's also for the family.
Это игра с одной educational game for the whole
This
family.
is a little bit different. This is educational card game. This is educational game for the whole family, but that was a lesson in honor and relationship in the family, but this is more educational.
С одной, люди хотели получить что-то более компактное, поэтому она в более маленьком размере. Но что интересно, в этом маленькой коробочке есть карты.
So this is much more compact. It's much more smaller, so that it will be easier for transportation.
Здесь есть 75 карт картонных.
People are asking, please put all of them on Amazon, please.
Все уже на Амазоне.
Okay, they are going to be in Amazon, all of them.
75 карт в этой игре.
So in this game, you have 75 cards.
И они двухсторонние. Есть две стороны.
So the cards are two parts.
С одной стороны
Two sides.
С одной стороны размещено все то, что в этой коробке. Сейчас я расскажу. С одной стороны.
There are two games. I mean two sides to the game. It's just like normal cards. Yeah.
С одной стороны вы можете видеть задания такие же, как в этой коробочке.
So on this side you see lessons, just like in those other gratitude, offense, reconciliation. You see values and the steps to obtaining the values.
То есть ничего не потеряно. Все, что здесь, оно здесь на этих
you
картах.
have those same value systems here.
А с другой стороны, то есть можно играть и развивать свои отношения, воспитывать детей. А с другой стороны, дополнительно, вот есть карточки с рисунками.
On the other side, you have the other game. You know, this is like the normal cards you have with diagrams.
И с помощью этих рисунков можно играть.
So through these diagrams and photographs,
можно играть, во-первых, игру на внимательность и концентрацию внимания.
So these photographs, they are not just photographs and diagrams like in normal cards that don't mean anything, but these cards improve your concentration level. It improves your attention to details. It improves your analytical level. It includes the analysis, the ability to analyze for children. for the ability to be
Children, his friends and family, для всех.
for everybody. It still improves your analytical ability. It improves your attentiveness. It improves your ability to discern, to build strategy, to critical thinking.
Пастор нас учил, что мы должны развивать концентрацию внимания, быть сфокусированными.
So this increases the focus
включено в
of
эту игру.
parents and children. So these games are to increase your focus level, concentration level, and your attention level.
Следующее, на основании этой же стороны с картинками можно играть на изобретательность. И изобретать не что-либо,
It also helps you to become creative. You see, these are creative photographs there, and that is to increase the creativity of the players, both for the parents and for the children.
Играя, нужно соединять картинки и изобрести с помощью этих картиночек на одной карте что-то полезное для людей, обязательно полезное для людей.
So when you play the cards, you know, any card that comes to your hand, let's say you pick 2 or 3 cards, so the instructions are there. You have to,
Например, вот это.
for example here, you have to answer the question, what can you use those diagrams to do? What can you create? So it helps people to come out with creative thoughts. What are the creative things that you could do through these diagrams and the photographs that are in each page? So you come up with creative things, and it comes out with the ability to come out with products. Everybody could become creative. So this helps you to become creative.
Также есть три вида специальных карт, вот таких есть, которые есть.
So apart from that particular game, there is another set of cards here, link up, which is one is I love my family because.
Нужно будет объяснить почему.
So it helps you to give the reason why your family is valuable to you. So we don't just have people growing up in the family, eating in the family, the parents doing everything, but the children don't even know why their parents are valuable, why they should value their family. But this card will make your children to value and to know why the family is valuable. Another one says, I am a friend.
I'm a friend.
I'm a friend.
Большинство игр подобных, они очень эгоистичны.
Many children are normally egocentric, and most of the games that we buy for our children, dolls and things, they make them egocentric. But these games are built up in such a way to help our children not to be egocentric, not to focus on themselves, and to understand love and values of respect and honor.
Получая такую карту, ты помогаешь другому исполнить его задание.
So when somebody gets this card, for example, there are assignments there. He has to help other people. So how to live for others, how to value other people, and how to help other people to solve their problems.
И еще такая специальная карта.
This third one, another card here says, I will tell you a story.
Можно поделиться чем-то интересным, полезным, забавным из своей жизни.
This is to help the children, overcome complexes. This is to help the children become interactive, to help the children share their stories, to help the children open up and become more social. So it increases the social ability of the children.
То есть с помощью этой игры можно улучшать отношения, воспитывать своих детей, лучше понимать своих детей, в то же время получать удовольствие от развлекающей и обучающей игры, избавляться от эгоизма, изобретать что-то новое, полезное для людей. С помощью этой игры
thanks to these games,
можно улучшать отношения в семье.
You could actually improve relationship in your family, and with your friends, and with people, and with children.
Родители могут лучше узнавать своих детей.
Parents could get to know the skills of their children better.
Воспитывать их без нотаций.
And the parents could also learn to bring up their children without punishing them, without reprimanding them, just by playing with them. Through playing with your children, you could actually bring them, give them the best of values.
У меня есть отзывы, что детям нравится то, что они играют в эту игру.
A lot of children, a lot of
все-
parents are testifying how much these games have helped their families.
дети отзываются,
Because
что им нравится.
it's helping the children, the parents to bring values into their children without screaming and being emotional.
Поэтому это работает, эта игра
So these
работает.
things are working. They are really working. Helping people and helping relationships.
Ну, а с помощью этой стороны вы можете улучшить работу своего мозга, быть внимательными.
But
И
this other side of the game are so creative because it helps you to be creative even as adults. It helps you to think better. It helps you to be more analytical. It helps you to be more attentive.
И тем более оно в игре оно будет весело, поэтому можно получать
But when
еще
you are
отличное
playing with other
настроение.
people and you are playing with a team and you are playing in a game, it's very funny, so lively, and so much pleasure. While you are receiving pleasure, you are actually changing yourself.
Можно играть не только сам за себя, можно играть командами, можно играть всей семьей, можно
So
играть
this could
группами.
be played with as many people as possible. People are changing and it's unbelievable.
Поэтому вот мои продукты
So
конвертированы
these are
через
the
боль.
products of my sorrow. How you could turn your sorrow and tragedy into real products, life-changing products.
Возможно, это не последнее, потому что Бог творит все новое.
I hope this will not be the last of my products because God is always creating new things. I will keep on producing new products.
Бог ищет новые пути, как достигать
And
людей.
God wants us to be creative as well, so that we will be creative and bring up ways to, to bring, to
Любить людей,
love
достигать
people
любви.
more and to take, to
Распространять ценности.
to spread the kingdom of God.
Я смотрю на пастора, у него всегда много идей.
I look at pastor. Pastor is like that. Pastor is always coming up with ideas every day.
Я раньше думала, почему у пастора постоянно так много идей.
I'm always thinking, why is pastor always coming up with so many ideas? He's full of ideas on daily basis.
И мне кажется, я поняла, почему у него
Now I
много идей.
understand why.
Я думаю, что у него много идей, потому что Богу выгодно вкладывать, давать идею тому, кто ее осуществит. Богу нет
God
смысла
only gives
раздавать.
idea to people who do something with those ideas. So that's why pastor is having so many ideas because he's doing so much with those ideas.
Он все осуществляет, и Бог дает ему новое.
God is giving him so many more ideas because of that.
Поэтому, когда Бог мне дает
Никто
новую...
не писал, да, ее контакт?
Поэтому, когда Бог дает мне новую идею, я стараюсь ее сразу начинать осуществлять, даже просто по вере.
So when God gives me new ideas, I begin to accomplish them
И
by faith.
поэтому вот такая интересная жизнь.
So this is my testimony.
Спасибо всем за
Thank you
внимание.
so much, everybody. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. What an amazing story. What an amazing story. What an amazing story. What an amazing testimony. Wow. I think we should all go and share this message. Let's go and share this link. If you have not shared this message yet, please go and press the share button. We all need to go and share this message. This is what Christianity means. This is how everybody could discover themselves and fulfill their calling. Ngoya Shari said, "Thank you so much, Galina. I am amazed. You are such an inspiration. You have rekindled a lot of energy and motivation in me, Galina, for me to use my own sorrow and pain for betterment of others and their lives. God bless you with more creative and innovative ideas and channels to reach those in need and establish the kingdom's principle. And by the way, you are so beautiful. I really admire you." Wow. O.D. Caro says, "Creativity is the mother of all inventions." Well done. Everybody is clapping for you. People are clapping for you here. Okay, Maria, you cannot read that. This is Galina's contact. Somebody just wrote Galina's. You cannot read Maria Kavalova here, but it's written in Russian language. The name is written in Russian language, but that is the contact of Galina here. Galina7vk@gmail.com is the email for Galina Kirishenka. Galina herself will write her contact right now. Nkiru is saying you have to patent these products because they are so good. You have to get a patent for them.
Первая сертифицирована, а вторая только
She's doing that already. They are absolutely amazing, Nkiru says. Ufuoma say, wow, so inspiring. God bless you, Sister Galina. You are such a blessing. Kevin Seaguy said, great work. Kike Adetiba said, God bless you, dear sister. Sky is the limit for you. Elizabeth is saying, dear Ufoma, don't buy toys again for your children. We finally got a bus stop. We got what to be buying for the children now. Beautiful, beautiful. Elizabeth says, this is kingdom work. Paul said, you have done well, Pastor. God bless you. Elizabeth, when I buy this game, the rest toys are going to charity. We will play until it becomes flesh. Gbemi Orekoya said, please, what's the name of the cards and game? The name of the card and game, Family Educational Card Games. Link up. And the other one is Family Let's Live in Harmony. Elizabeth Ali said, oh yes, it's such a powerful game. Oluwatope, amazing ingenuity in advancing relationships. Elizabeth, oh my God, they should teach this during Sunday school for children. Omonika said, I love these cards. Please, how much are they in pounds? They will be there on Amazon. Yeah. Sanet says, this will increase concentration. It will help with my mom. She got dementia as well. Gift said, these are parent value system cards. Sanet said, yes, Pearl, I'm excited. Even we'll get it for my 82-year-old mom in Africa, going there for Christmas. Galina saying is thanking everyone for comments. She has also written, Galina Kirishenka has written contacts here. Martin said, I love the way she drops bombs in such a humble tone and charisma and really calm Russian. God bless you, Galina. Samuel is saying, thank God I watched this. I praise God, revive my creativity too. The sky is your limit, Galina. I think we all need to go and share this link and write something creative so as to help people. Austin Moses, God bless you, Pastor Sunday. Thank you for the great work. We'll see you again in Kiev soon. Thank you, Prophet of God. Jacqueline Kemp, will you please review this again by saying what this is and the name and how they are played? Where can we go? I'm sorry, just press the share button, then you could go and review it yourself. Our time is up. So you have to press the share button, get it on your timeline, and then you could go and watch it again. Nkiru Pishit, Galina, Viprosta Krasavisa. Ola Martin, thank you, Galina. You are beautiful and a testimony. Well done for this game. It was a pleasure meeting you. Elizabeth, well done, well done, well done. You are so beautiful. Ojefia, I need to know how to be creative. Then you need to press the link and press the share button so that you watch it again. You need to watch that again. You'll be able to know how to get it. And the contacts of Galina is here. Fidel is saying, this is amazing, Galina. More God bless you more and more. Mash should say, well done, Sister Galina, you are a blessing. Fidel, God bless you, Pastor Sunday, for encouraging her. Jacqueline said, thank you, very creative and wonderful. Wow, thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back with you. Our time is over, 1 hour, 1.5 hours almost. So thank you so much for everything. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back with the teachings on why women are special. So God bless you, and talk to you see you tomorrow. God bless. And if you need to get in touch with Galina, our contacts are there. God bless you, everybody. And thank you for Galina for her story. Beautiful.